Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. A group of around 100 people have been fired upon by Hong Kong police as they tried to leave the city's Polytechnic University. Several protesters were arrested as they tried to run from the campus, which was surrounded by police. It is the third time protesters have tried to leave following a violent and fiery overnight standoff with authorities. In the past week, the campus has turned into a battleground as long-running anti-government protests become more violent. The violence is some of the worst seen during months of unrest in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory.
I will once again urge them to come out, surrender. As if they always claim they want to fight a better future, then please come out and face the consequence of your action and uphold the rule of law of Hong Kong.
Police arrested in total 154 people, consisting of 103 male and 51 female, aged between 13 and 54 over the weekend.
At least one person has died after the collapse of a bridge crossing a river in southern France on Monday. Rescuers were called shortly after the suspended bridge collapsed near Toulouse in the town of Mirepoix-sur-Tame early on Monday morning. Authorities said a 15-year-old girl had died while the mother of the victim was rescued by passers-by. The Toulouse prosecutor told reporters authorities were looking for more survivors, including the driver of a truck, which is thought to have been on the bridge when it collapsed. Authorities also suspected the presence of a third vehicle when the accident happened. Protesters in Iraq say they won't retreat from Baghdad's Ahaz bridge the day after regaining control over the third bridge leading to the city's fortified green zone. A number of protesters started dismantling concrete barricades built by security forces during the biggest wave of anti-government demonstrations in decades, while others marched in support of fellow demonstrators occupying the bridge. More than 300 people have been killed since the start of mass unrest in Baghdad and southern Iraq in early October, the largest demonstrations since the fall of Saddam Hussein in 2003. Chile's President Sebastián Piñera has acknowledged that the police did commit abuses while dealing with protests which have been rocking the country for the past month. He said there was excessive use of force in the police response to mass protests against inequality. There would be no impunity for those who committed excesses and abuses. 22 people have been killed and more than 2,300 injured. North Korean media say their leader, Kim Jong-un, supervised Air Force drills for the second time in 3 days, even as the United States and South Korea decided not to impose their joint air drills. Photos released by the North's official news agency, KCNA, showed Kim supervising an airborne landing training of sharpshooter subunits of its army. The US and South Korea said on Sunday they would postpone upcoming military drills in an effort to bolster a stalled peace push with North Korea. Heavy overnight snowfall and subsequent flooding have led Austrian authorities to declare a state of emergency in parts of the country. Train services between the city of Innsbruck and the Brenner Mountain Pass, connecting Austria and Italy, was interrupted, affecting a train scheduled to travel from Munich to Venice. It was halted at Innsbruck station, where Austrian Rail apologised to its customers on electronic boards, giving heavy snowfall as the reason for the interrupted service. Meanwhile, Australia, which has been battling large forest fires recently, had to contend with a huge hailstorm over the weekend. Hailstones the size of cricket balls and destructive winds swept through parts of Queensland. The roofs of houses across the Sunshine Coast were left punctured, while the windscreens of vehicles were damaged on Sunday afternoon. Power lines were also cut and trees were snapped. Here you can see a slow-motion video of hailstones being released by a farmer from a protective net on a Queensland farm. The State Emergency Service said they had received over 200 requests for assistance. And finally, Bollywood star Salman Khan launched his own range of fitness equipment in Mumbai amid much fanfare. Khan, popular among his devoted fans for his romantic action movies, has been a fitness enthusiast since his early days in the film industry and designed the gym equipment himself. Khan was joined by his brother Sohail Khan and brother-in-law Ayush Sharma, alongside many familiar Bollywood faces. And that's your international news around the world in 5.